Okay, this is number 10 on homework 12, and we're kind of going back a little and reviewing factoring, and we're going to be also using it in this unit when we look at graphing quadratic functions. So the instructions for number 10 in that whole page are find the zeros of the function. So the word zeros means the same thing as the roots of the equation or the solutions when you factor and solve. When we graph, we're going to see next week that those are the same as the x-intercepts, where the graph crosses the x-axis. So when they say find the zeros of the function, they mean basically just set y equal to 0 and solve for x. So I'm going to go ahead and frame my two binomial factors right for starters. And instead of breaking out the middle term, I'm going to show just the matching method. So first I'm going to use, look, my diamond. I'm going to multiply a by c, or 5 times 3 to get 15 up here, and a negative 8 here. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply together to be positive 15 with a sum of negative 8. So 15, I pretty much got 1 times 15 and 3 times 5, and that's it. So I can see that a negative 3 and a negative 5 will work. So, because I multiply them together, I get a positive 15. I combine them and I get a negative 8. So instead of breaking out the negative 8x and a negative 3x and negative 5x, that same thing can be accomplished like this. I'm going to put the negative 5x on one of the arcs and the negative 3x on the other. So I'm going to put a negative 5x here and a negative 3x on the inside. Now, to get the negative 5x, first of all, I know that these first terms have to multiply together to be 5x squared, and 5 is a prime number. The only way I could get a 5 is 5 times 1. So the only way I can get a 5x squared is a 5x times an x. Okay, and then I look and I go, okay, what do I have to multiply 5x by on the outside terms to get a negative 5x? Because remember, the negative 5x and the negative 3x are going to combine to be this middle term, negative 8x. So 5x times what is negative 5x? Well, that would be a negative 1. And x here on the inside terms gets multiplied by what to get a negative 3x? Well, that would be a negative 3. So there you have your two factors. And let's FOIL it back to check. 5x times x is 5x squared. Check. 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. When these get added together, there's my negative 8x. And then negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. So once I've got these factors, I can set each of these equal to 0. And 5x minus 3 equals 0. I could do that. And x minus 1 equals 0. So in this case, I would add 3 to both sides and divide by 5. So x is equal to 3/5. And on this one, I would add 1 to both sides, and I would get x equals 1. And those would be my two solutions. And I write those, usually, you'll see them written inside of brackets, positive 3/5 and a positive 1. Now, a quicker way to get these guys is just to look at these factors. We can see easily that what value of x is going to make this whole thing equal to 0. That's just going to be a positive 1. And as far as this one, we can see, what does x have to be? Well, x is going to have a 5 in the denominator, so that when multiplied by this 5, it cancels out, and the opposite of negative 3 in the numerator, which is a positive 3. So I can get my 3/5 and my 1 once you get good at this without going through this process. And that is it. Thank you for watching the video.